It's Thursday, May the 28th, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Cognition raises more than $1 billion at a $26 billion valuation. Anthropic closes its $900 billion round. And Qualcomm strikes a major AI chip deal with ByteDance. Let's get into it.
Cognition, the San Francisco startup behind the autonomous AI software engineer Devin, has raised more than $1 billion in fresh capital at a $26 billion post-money valuation. The round was co-led by Lux Capital, General Catalyst, and 8VC, with participation from Ribbit Capital, Atreides Management, and Peter Thiel's Founders Fund. The valuation is more than double the company's $10.2 billion mark from just 8 months ago. Cognition says its annualized revenue run rate has reached $492 million, with enterprise usage of Devin growing roughly 50% month over month for 6 straight months. Customers now include Mercedes-Benz, NASA, Goldman Sachs, and Santander, putting Cognition in the front rank of agentic coding companies.
Next, a major chip deal.
Qualcomm has reached an AI data center chip supply deal with ByteDance, the Chinese parent of TikTok, according to Bloomberg, reporting confirmed yesterday. ByteDance will purchase millions of Qualcomm application-specific integrated circuits to power its AI agent software and the Dubao chatbot, which now serves 345 million monthly users. ByteDance has raised its 2026 AI infrastructure budget to roughly $29.4 billion, a 25% increase. The deal also includes chip manufacturing services, with Qualcomm helping ByteDance bring proprietary chip designs through production. Qualcomm shares rallied as much as 8.3% to record intraday highs on the news, one of the company's earliest major wins in a data center market long dominated by NVIDIA.
Now, a Microsoft platform play.
Microsoft has shipped its largest Copilot Studio update of the year, with computer-using agents now generally available. The update, published yesterday, allows agents to interact with desktop and web applications exactly as a human would, navigating screens, clicking elements, filling forms, and extracting data without requiring an API. The release also adds a redesigned workflow canvas with conditional branching and parallel execution, Work IQ extensibility for workforce analytic signals, and real-time voice with sub-500 millisecond latency. Microsoft is positioning Copilot Studio as a model-agnostic agent platform for enterprise customers running on Azure. The broader play is to make Azure the security and governance layer for AI agents, regardless of which underlying model is doing the reasoning.
Over to Google.
Google pushed a breaking change to its Gemini Interactions API yesterday that developers cannot afford to ignore. The new default schema updates the outputs and steps fields and the response format configuration, with the legacy schema scheduled for full removal on June 8th, 2 weeks from now. Any production application still using the old structure will return errors on that date. Google has published a migration guide, but for enterprise teams with long deployment cycles or compliance review requirements, the 2-week window is tight. The change affects structured multi-step agent workflows built on Gemini, including the new Gemini 3.5 Flash model launched at Google Input-Output. Developers running Gemini in production should treat this as immediate and act now.
Now, a record valuation.
Anthropic has closed a more than $30 billion growth round at a pre-money valuation above $900 billion, with the close confirmed during the week of May 26th. The financing was co-led by Sequoia Capital, Dragoneer, Altimeter Capital, and Green Oaks Capital, with Microsoft, NVIDIA, Founders Fund, and General Catalyst also participating. The deal makes Anthropic the world's most valuable private AI startup, eclipsing OpenAI's $852 billion mark from March. The company's annualized revenue run rate has gone from $1 billion at the end of 2024 to a reported $30 billion in April, driven by enterprise Claude Code adoption and large alliances with PwC, KPMG, and Blackstone. Sources expect this to be Anthropic's last private round before an October target IPO window.
Korea, semiconductors, and labor.
A Samsung Electronics union representing the Consumer Electronics Division has filed a motion in a South Korean court to block a pay deal that disproportionately benefits chip division workers. Samsung's semiconductor unit, which produces AI accelerators for NVIDIA and Google, has become dramatically more profitable than the rest of the company, fueling internal compensation pressure. The union argues the differential is unfair and is asking the court to halt the vote until judicial review is complete. The dispute illustrates a broader pattern in the AI-era supply chain. As specific technical roles become the rate limiter for global infrastructure, internal compensation gaps are widening fast at every company critical to AI production, from Samsung to TSMC to ASML.
Elon Musk and Boston.
XI brought Grok to Tesla's flagship Boston showroom yesterday, holding an AI roadshow during Boston Tech Week. The session, titled Space XAI's Vision for Autonomous Business Transformation, used the Tesla retail space as a backdrop to pitch Grok to enterprise buyers. XAI executives described the company as taking a manufacturing approach to building models, echoing Tesla's production philosophy where the factory itself is treated as the product. The framing is meaningful because XAI is no longer a standalone company. Musk has folded Grok and X into a new SpaceX division called SpaceX AI. With the SpaceX IPO roadshow opening June 4th, the Boston event reads as part of an investor positioning push to frame SpaceX AI as enterprise infrastructure rather than just a chatbot.
And in research.
A new peer-reviewed study comparing more than 100,000 people with today's most advanced generative AI systems has found that AI now outperforms the average human on standardized creativity tests. The research, reported this week by Science Daily, measured performance on the alternative uses task, the remote associates test, and divergent thinking benchmarks, all of which are used in organizational psychology to predict creative job performance. Researchers caution that these tests measure structured creative output, not the open-ended embodied creativity behind great literature or art. But the implication for hiring is direct. If AI beats the average candidate on the exact tests employers use to screen for creative potential, the middle of the creative job distribution is the segment most exposed to automation first.
Now China and AI talent.
China has widened the overseas travel restrictions imposed on AI researchers, with Bloomberg reporting this week that Chinese government agencies are now separately restricting researchers at both private firms and academic institutions. The earlier round of restrictions targeted AI researchers at DeepSeek and Alibaba, requiring government approval before any international travel. The new layer adds direct restrictions on government-employed and government-funded researchers, dramatically expanding the net. The shift changes the talent equation in the US-China AI race. US labs can no longer simply hire Chinese frontier researchers the way they have recruited from other countries. Beijing is increasingly treating its top AI talent as a strategic asset rather than a free-flowing labour market input.
Enterprise AI deployment news.
ServiceNow and Accenture have launched a forward-deployed engineering program to scale agentic AI inside large enterprises. The new program, announced this week at ServiceNow Knowledge 2026, pairs ServiceNow's AI-native forward-deployed engineers with Accenture's industry specialists, embedding both directly into customer environments to build agentic workflows on the ServiceNow AI platform. The structure follows the Palantir embedded engineer model, designed to take AI from pilot to production faster than a traditional licensing engagement. The pattern is now everywhere. ServiceNow with Accenture, OpenAI with its Deploy Co subsidiary, Anthropic with KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte. The competitive AI race is no longer just about model capability. It is increasingly about who controls the deployment layer inside the Fortune 500.
A developer tooling update.
Anthropic has shipped Claude Code version 2.1.152, the latest in a string of rapid updates to its terminal-based agentic coding tool. The headline features added this week include a per-category usage breakdown showing exactly which skills, sub-agents, plugins, and MCP servers are consuming a developer's capacity. Keyboard navigable diff scrolling and GitHub-flavored Markdown task list rendering also landed. Most importantly, the release closes a PowerShell permission bypass that allowed built-in CD commands to change the working directory outside the workspace without triggering the permission system. Windows users running Claude Code in regulated environments should update immediately. The release pace reflects Anthropic's strategy of shipping enterprise-grade developer tooling on a near-daily cadence.
And one to watch.
In seed stage news, Round, an AI-powered finance automation platform, has raised $6 million to expand its agentic finance operations product. The round was led by Alston Capital, with participation from Backed VC and Love Ventures. Round is part of a wave of agentic AI companies targeting back-office workflows. Rather than just generating reports or summarizing data, the platform autonomously executes finance operations, reconciling accounts, running close processes, and producing audit-ready output. The bet is that the CFO function is the next high-value enterprise workflow where agentic AI delivers measurable ROI. The funding is small, but the category is increasingly active, with venture firms placing focused early-stage bets on AI agents that own end-to-end financial workflows.
That's your briefing for Thursday, May the 28th, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.